Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope the message finds you doing well. Got another analogy from the world of sports that I think carries over into the world of sales, and want to talk to you for a minute about that. And in the world of sports, there's this analogy that you'll hear from coaches, and you'll get feedback from other players, and it's just kind of prevailing wisdom in athletics that sometimes you just have to want it more than the other person. Sometimes you have to be willing and able to will yourself into that position of winning. And I think I think it's a real thing. I think sometimes the difference in winning and losing in the world of sports is simply your ability to have the will to get yourself where you're trying to get to, whether it's a personal sport like running a marathon or doing a triathlon, or whether it's a team sport like basketball or football or rugby or anything else. Sometimes simply having the will to win is what it takes to get you over the hump and into the victory lane, or into that W lane instead of the L lane. In the world of So how does that apply to sales? Well, I think in the world of sales, particularly in the engagement step of the sales process, and then also again into the pitch step of the sales process, sometimes you just have to have the will to win the sale or win the engagement more than the person that you're talking to, the prospect that you're dealing with at that time. And I don't mean that in an adversarial way. I mean, when you first engage with a prospect, there are going to be many times where that prospect doesn't know why engaging with you would be worth their time. They don't have enough information yet. So in that space, in that moment, your will to make the connection and drive the connection to get through the value proposition is such an important part of the sales process. Like, you've got to will yourself through that initial hesitation or pushback you get from the prospect when you're reaching out for that initial engagement, and get yourself to the point where you can articulate clearly your value proposition. And if it's a good value proposition and you articulate it clearly and you help the other person understand what's going to be in it for them to listen further, you're going to get that next moment, and that's how you build momentum into the engagement process and get that person from "I don't know you" to "now I'm interested." The same thing in the pitch process. There are going to be a lot of times where you're pitching and you're going to get pushback in the pitch. And sometimes in that moment of pushback, you've just got to will yourself through that hesitation or that pushback you're getting, and have the courage and have the technique and have the skill and have the belief to push through and push past that initial hesitation or that objection or those objections that you're getting, and get to the other side of them just through sheer will. I mean, sometimes obviously skill makes a big difference, knowledge makes a big difference, technique makes a big difference. But at the end of the day, sometimes, like in sports, in sales, it's just a matter of will. And your will and your desire and your belief, and again, your will to get to the other side of the sale or to make that sale has got to be greater than the person that you're selling to. Sometimes it's not, again, not an adversarial thing. You're not trying to make a bad sale to someone who shouldn't be buying your product. This is a situation where in your heart of hearts that what you're selling is exactly the right solution for the person you're selling to. You've just got to have the will to push them through to that point that they believe it as well, and they're willing to take action and ready, and they come on board. And at the end of the day, you know that you've done them a service, a great service. So hope that analogy helps out if you ever find yourself in that that position where you don't know why you're not getting the engagements you're looking for, or you're not getting those sales after the pitches that you're making. Sometimes, remember, it's just a matter of having the will to get things done that you need to get done. Happens in sports, happens in sales all the time. Hope that's been helpful. Hope it struck a chord with somebody out there. And at the end of the day, I hope you have a great week. Peace.